For many years, I struggled with identifying as a feminist. I wasn't quite sure because the movement that as it stands wasn't something that I could relate to. And I remember discussing with a friend, and she was explaining to me about feminism when she actually said, you know, it's about having equal rights. It's not about hating men, which is when I wanted to distance myself from it. But I'm joking. I think it's very naive to say, that last speaker said, that it's causing division by having a motion like this and having a discussion like this, because the problem being is that whether we like it or not, the privilege does exist within the feminist movement. And also, I'm for intersectional feminism. And also, the other thing is, it's not just, you can be privileged in different ways. People get very defensive and they get upset if you say white privilege or stuff, but I have certain privileges. Like I would have privileges over a trans woman, because a trans woman is more likely, especially a trans woman of colour, to be murdered and attacked just for being themselves. So I think it doesn't help to get defensive when you hear that word. We have to acknowledge that we all have different privileges in different ways. Alice Walker had once said that the problem with white feminism was that they want to be equal to their fathers and their brothers. It was not included with us. The thing is, you have to understand people have different issues in their life. So a lot of times when white feminism will fight for the right to go out and work, black women have always worked, and for a lot of time weren't even paid for it. So we are going to be arguing about different things, and to completely not recognise that, to me, doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Intersectional feminism was coined by an African-American woman called Kimberly Crenshaw. And I have a quote here of what was said. Sorry, I didn't write anything down like everybody else. Thought I do stand up, I can wing it. Basically, what she said was the textbook definition of intersectional feminism is the view that women experience oppression in varying configurations and in varying degrees of intensity. Cultural patterns of oppression are not only interrelated, but are bound together and influenced by the intersectional systems of society. Examples of this include race, gender, ability, and ethnicity. I think it's quite, Femin is a group I'm kind of aware was founded by a man who chose his activists based on their attractiveness. So it's a really, really great feminist movement. I think the problem is when you go out and you claim to be fighting for the rights of all women and do not take into account the differences, when you paint Islamophobic things all over your body, where are the Muslim women that you are supposed to be protecting? They have rights as well. That is what the problem is, and that is why people are saying that feminism has been hijacked. Womanism, which is something I subscribe to, which was made popular by Alice Walker, and she said that womanism is to feminism like lavender is to the colour purple. Basically, there are ideas of feminism within womanism, but what they actually care about is making everybody in society care about everybody else as well. So that's more for equality for everyone. I also wanted to say that a lot of things that we face in life that are different, like in Ferguson, a lot of the grassroots movements in Ferguson and a lot of the movements over here for things like police brutality, for instance, which a lot of black people have to deal with, and a lot of black mothers have to bury their sons due to that. So for the claim that it's divisive for us to somehow put this out there and say these are our needs and these are what we are facing is actually quite disrespectful to the struggle that we have. Any questions? I also have found like a lot of online abuse, which is something that I get quite a lot of as well. I've found that a lot of black women have been complaining when we're told to be quiet and saying that we're separating things, because a lot of the abuse that we get given, we are just told to sit there and deal with it and just to accept it. which is ridiculous, really. I often find that also the stereotypes that you have as a black woman are completely different from the stereotypes that you would have as a white woman. So therefore, I mean, like for instance, you know, black women are often, Sojourner Truth actually had that speech and where she said, "Ain't I a woman?" Because basically we are treated as though we're not. We're always criticised and ridiculed, and the idea of this femininity that's supposed to exist, that women are supposed to be shy, retiring, quiet, demure people, absolutely is not applied to women of colour very often at all. For instance, I mean, I have different struggles, like, you know, I'm not a petite woman or anything like that. If I'm carrying something and I'm struggling with it, there's no guy going to go, "Oh, let me take that for you." They're like, "Look at the size of you, carry it yourself." So So I think that all of these things need to be addressed, that people have different levels of oppression, different things that we have to face in our everyday lives. And I don't think that feminism can honestly claim to be for all women if they're not addressing these things. Thank you.